Good morning, Instagram. Hello to everyone on the conference call this morning. It is nice to be here with you all on this solar eclipse day, April 8th. Today's call is going to be all about seeing the bigger picture, getting a bird's eye view or a planetary view, perhaps, maybe even. And for those of you who are new to the call, I'm Abraham Calhoun, a spiritual coach and conflict resolution professional. And basically, I have a company called Peace With that brings peace to the workplace through several different types of trainings as well as a one-on-one coaching program. And you can find all of the information for that over at www.peacewith.net. And so let's go ahead and jump into this morning's call. I wanted to start by sharing a story related to our topic today. And it was about a story where I was feeling a lot of intense negative emotional reactivity related to our last president, Donald Trump. So I think it was like probably 2020, the last year of his presidency. And excuse me, there's like something in my eye. Something had happened in the news. I can't remember what it was, but I was extremely frustrated, extremely annoyed, extremely angry, and I was going about my day feeling this emotion, feeling this anger, and I really had no way to release it, and I really just needed to get it out. And as I was on my way to work, an individual decided to cut me off while we were driving. And for those of you who know me personally, I hate driving. Driving is like my least favorite activity. I do it and I do as best of a job as I can, but it's really not my thing at all. So anyway, long story short, the individual cuts me off, and that anger intensifies tremendously because what do I see on the back of their vehicle? A big Trump 2020 sticker. And of course, I had been reactive and frustrated all morning because of something that was going on in the media cycle with that character already. And now here they are again cutting me off, and the anger just was so fueling. And I instantly felt this tension in my body, and I went to hang up, like slam on my horn, and I stopped myself and I said, wait a second. And I could hear one of my spiritual teachers' voices in my head, Karen Berg of the Kabbalah Center, saying, you know, what kind of energy are you about to put back into the world by doing this action? And I stopped in my tracks and I said, okay, well then what am I supposed to do? Because right now I'm very, very angry and I have no way to share or love this person. And I heard, if you can't share with that person, find a way to transform your energy through an act of sharing in another way. And so I took a deep breath and I moved on, and I picked myself up out of my emotional reactivity for a second, and I said, yes, I can honk on the horn and do all I want, but it's not necessarily going to get me a better outcome than where I'm at right now. It's just going to lead me into a more cycle of deeper frustration. So in the end, I took a breath, I didn't honk my horn, I made it to work. And when I got to work, I instantly went to one of the local charities here in Richmond, Virginia. And quite frankly, I'm not going to lie, there still was a little bit of spite in me. And so I picked a charity that I knew the individual who was driving the vehicle based on the bumper sticker. And of course, you know, I was really upset with Donald Trump and the news cycle at the time. I picked an organization that I knew that they would probably never donate to. And I donated to that organization because I care about that organization. And a few weeks later, I got a handwritten note basically telling me how the money that I donated helped someone in the local community. And it just was a really beautiful full circle moment for me of realizing, wow, in that moment, I took anger and frustration and I actually was able to transform it and turn it into a positive action. But it was only through seeing the bigger picture. It was only through being able to pause and reflect on what was about to happen in the moment. And so that's what today's call is all about. And so when we're using the Peace With process to help us build a bigger picture and a better reality, one that helps us seek peace over conflict, one that helps us seek peace over emotional reactivity, right? There are these steps that we can use in the Peace With process to help us get there. And the first one is quantum cause. And quantum meaning everything at one time, right? Everything is accessible at one time. And so what we need to remember is that when we are experiencing conflict, tension, stress, emotional reactivity, whatever it may be, our perspective is so limited in that moment. And we really only see ourselves and we only hear ourselves. And in that moment, we need to learn how to break it. And so in the Kabbalah Center, what they've always taught us is pause. What a pleasure. Why am I experiencing this? What am I needing to learn to grow from this? And I think that's like a really great thing to do. In the Peace With process, we talk about cause and effect. Thinking of yourself as a cause rather than an effect. When you are sitting in that emotional reactivity, that negativity, that tension, that stress, you are allowing yourself to be an effect of the external world. When in reality, that in your mind, you can actually control the external world to an extent. You control the way in which you reveal your reality. So you have to remember that consciousness is really everything, especially in moments of conflict, tension, and stress. Because the more that you have consciousness of the reality, the less you are going to be an effect of your emotional reactivity. And so cause and effect in quantum cause is really zooming out, recognizing that you want to approach the situation with a positive mindset, you want to approach the situation with a positive intention, and you want to approach the situation with positive action over negative action. That is what being a cause versus an effect is. An effect approaches something with their limited mindset, their ego mindset, right? An effect is going to always have a negative intention. I'm going to honk on my horn. I'm going to yell at that person. And then finally, what kind of emotion is behind that activity? It's charged with negative emotions like tension, hatred, frustration, anger. That is not being a cause. And then you have your value and purpose in quantum cause. Really starting to see, okay, if I am feeling heavily triggered here, what areas of my value system may it be triggering to help me understand and get to learn about the problem a little bit deeper. From there, we move into spectrum of desire. Understanding how desire is moving and flowing through your body, right? So if you haven't been able to zoom out all the way in quantum cause, spectrum of desire is going to help you dig a little bit deeper and get a better perspective of what's really occurring with your emotional reactivity. So you may have seen these emotion maps. I love them. Definitely frame one or save one on Instagram. You can find them. You just type in like emotion map online and they'll come up, and they have like a spectrum of positive emotions all the way down to like negative emotions, instead of our basic ones like happy, sad, annoyed, upset, right? They get like really, really deeper in like deeper levels and scales of emotions, and they also match colors with them, which I think is very, very interesting. But starting to learn more language around your emotional reactivity, understanding the type of emotions that you are feeling on a daily basis, especially when you are coming into contact with conflict or tension, whatever it may be. Getting to understand your emotional world a lot better is going to help you always see a bigger picture. And then, of course, spectrum of desire really is about controlling that desire that those negative emotions or positive emotions may be contributing to. So generally, your negative emotions are going to result in negative desire, like honking on that horn or yelling at that person. And by understanding your emotional makeup and how that emotional makeup creates those desires in you, you're able to gain more self-control and self-governance over the types of things you're thinking and feeling. So when you are in the step of spectrum of desire, one of the things you're always asking yourself is this desire, is this want that I have rooted in my selfish ego and my negativity, or is it rooted in, again, going back to intention and positive intention and a positive mindset, right? Like, where is it? So thinking about your desire in that way is definitely going to be helpful when you are experiencing tension, stress, and conflict. Now, finally, in the Peace with process, we come to right kavanah. Kavanah is a Hebrew word. It means direction, intention. It has a couple of different translations. But essentially what it means is really to direct one's mind. And you're kind of blending mind, body, and soul together. And they're all focused on one intention, right? So right kavanah really is about the action, where the first two steps, quantum cause and spectrum of desire, are all about understanding your deeper psyche, getting a bird's eye view of what's going on inside. Right kavanah really is the action. It really is what you actually need to be doing in order to make peace or in order to make the situation more positive. So you want to make sure that when you are preparing for any sort of negotiation, troubling, challenging conversation that you may need to be having with a partner or someone in work, you want to make sure that you're setting goals around positive emotions, cause mentality, and seeking that peace, right? So really being able to analyze the type of actionable-based goals that you're creating for yourself in the situation and asking, are these aligned with peace? Are these aligned with peace, or are they aligned with conflict and tension? And that's going to be able to help you kind of create a map. One of the hardest things that we forget and when we are experiencing conflict, because again, that ego nature comes in and really wants to destroy us and make things harder for us, we forget to seek peace and collaboration. We forget that we're actually working with another human being, and we see them almost as an enemy in the situation. And you really should be looking at the problem as the enemy or the challenge, not the individual, right? So part of right kavanah is seeking peace. It's seeking collaboration over selfishness. And the next piece is really the mindfulness. And so the best meditation that I can recommend here, I want you to imagine your mind as a lake. And as you get deeper and deeper into your breath, you're going to notice that the sediment is starting to settle, right? Really visualizing that in your brain is going to help you kind of gain more clarity in the mind. So that is a meditation that you can do, a mindfulness exercise that you can do in order to help create more space and calm and clarity. And then finally, get out and share, right? In that moment, the story that I was sharing at the beginning of this talk was essentially I had to transform my negative energy. Acts of sharing are what helps us do that transformation. So if you're not in a space where you can share with the person that you're actually in conflict with, that's okay. Find another way to share and transform your energy. Just always focus on what you're doing, right? You're shifting the energy inside your mind, body, and soul. So thank you so much, everyone. This has been the Spiritual Hacking Conference Call. You can catch this every Monday morning at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you're watching this on YouTube or on Instagram later, please give us a like, share, and a follow. It really helps us grow our audience and continue pushing out this wisdom into the world. I hope you all have a lovely day and a happy solar eclipse. And thanks so much.